Did you like that?
That was awesome.
I thought it's better. I thought I'd have a bit of fun because we usually have that 30, 29, 28, and I thought, well, hold on, it's the Tube Boys, so let's show a picture of the Tube.
Man, we're getting there. And actually, we could say that was original footage from when the Tube Boys were initiated, but it's not.
No. Hi everyone, welcome again. Thanks for coming back if you're here. Thanks for replaying if you're not here. And we have another guest today with us, and it is
Fat Penguin.
Fat Pudgy Pudding a Penguin. Yeah. No, it's not who it is at all. Let's bring him on. Hold on. Let's bring him on. Yeah. Where is he?
Jonathan.
Hey, how are you? Hello, how are you guys?
Very well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good actually. Token 2049 was great fun, and I got back and had a bit of COVID, so like everybody else, I think, is getting back into the swing of things now this week.
Okay, you seem good.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't complain.
So, maybe for those who don't know you, Jonathan, do you want to just sort of give a quick rundown of
absolutely
who you are, what you do, what you're doing?
Okay, yeah. So, quick background on me. I left the traditional world in 2012 to go Bitcoin mining. I mined Bitcoin till 2014. I bought a lot of Ethereum early 2014, late 2014, early 2015. I then got involved in Tata 2, which was the fourth largest ICO in 2017. And from that, I then went on to advise projects at Outlier and invest in a combination of NFTs and tokens.
Good. And what are you up to at the moment then?
So at the moment, I run a small venture studio called W3S, working with an L1 and stable coins, mostly providing liquidity for a particular project.
Oh, interesting.
I guess so. We have the first gazillionaire on our podcast.
I don't know if I'd go as far as that. I did okay.
And this is Web3S. This is W3S.group, right? This is your.
That's us. Yep, that's us.
You and your team. This is your baby right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And you're investing, right, as well. So if anyone's wants to get in touch, they can get in touch with you, through LinkedIn or something.
Absolutely. Please reach out, and one of our investment relations people will get back to you.
Very cool. All right. Well, thanks for that. We'll stop shilling you now and take it off the
awesome.
Screen. Well, again, thanks for joining us last minute. We were chatting this morning, Jonathan and Stefan, just to give you insight. Jonathan and I are part of a club in London, and there's a group of it's a crypto club, so to speak, and there's a chat group in there, and there's a few things been popping around this week, and that I thought would be great to talk about today. And I know you have as well, Stefan, and as Jonathan was punching away on the keyboard as well in that group, I thought, Jonathan, do you want to come along and join in the conversation today? So that was kind of the catalyst, really. One of the things so let's get the ball rolling. One of the things that's being discussed in that group, because actually it is the London focus group, but actually does affect some of the things that affect everybody in blockchain globally. Is that Chase the bank this week decided or announced that they were not going to allow their retail. I don't know if that, Jonathan, includes I don't know if there is actually a business customer, but certainly on the retail side, we're not going to allow you to send on ramp or send your money to anything crypto related, crypto exchanges, for example. So you couldn't on ramp, and they're saying basically saying if you want to do that, find another bank.
Yeah. I think it's slightly worse than that as well, because they also won't take in payments that have come from a crypto exchange or a crypto company.
Right.
So you can't actually pay money. So this was where this conversation started. So I personally bank with Chase, and I got the email and I sort of phoned them up to get some sort of clarity on this, because as the nature of the fact of what my main source of income is a Web3 company, I wanted to know if I could actually just continue to pay my salary into my bank account. And the answer is, from the 8th of October, probably not.
That's quite a lot. Yeah.
It's a major issue, and it's not just that though. It's not just those. I mean, Barclays had an issue a while ago. They've slightly sort of reversed it a little bit, but it's not clean or clear. And also Santander won't allow mortgages for crypto customers. I know this firsthand because I had this challenge myself in December last year. And also you have real issues with NatWest as well. And it's now getting to the stage of where if you're in the UK and you do anything involving crypto, where do you actually bank? And I mean, you can try one of the challenger banks, for example, like Revolut, who at the moment are being very sort of cooperative. But how long will they remain cooperative? And will the long arm reach them? And will they start to say no as well? I mean, this is the biggest challenge you've got. I feel that it's almost like we're being effectively choked out as an industry in the United Kingdom, whilst at the same time saying, oh, we're really crypto friendly. We really want you to come on, set up your crypto businesses here, but don't bank here.
Yeah, that's something I just wanted to bring up because from what I remember, I mean, I'm obviously not based in the UK, but as far as I remember, what is it called? The Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, something like that. I might pronounce it wrong. So, and he said like, hey, welcoming everyone with open arms. It's like, hey, we're super crypto friendly. All come over here. And now we're seeing actually like the exact opposite, like where it's going like, hey, yeah, you come here, but you can't bank here, which technically means my perspective, you can't do anything here because I mean,
absolutely not. I mean, this is the point, and what frustrates me more than this is that as I'm a football fan and I'm a Newcastle United fan. I blame my father for my addiction for that affliction, and it's very fair to do so. But if I, for example, wanted to go into a bookies today and say I want to put £1 million that Newcastle United will win the league this year, they take my bet, providing I could put up the funds, right? And they wouldn't even question it. There will be no thoughts about the money laundering side of things. There will be no KYC that went on. It'll be literally whether or not my debit card cleared or my Apple Pay went through. That's the only bit that would matter. And arguably, that is a dubious investment decision to put the equivalent of a pension pot on Newcastle United winning the league. But it would be allowed, and no one would question it. Whereas if you wanted to say do the same with Ethereum, and say actually I think Ethereum's going to 20x over the next 5 years. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my equivalent of my pension pot in Ethereum and be like, oh, well, no, you can't do that. Not at all. We're not going to allow that.
And
it's the level of hypocrisy that annoys me the most.
Yeah, because what they're saying is that it's to because of fraud, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just looking here, scrolling through again. That this it's tackle fraud. And then there's loads of stats about data from Britain's fraud reporting agency showed crypto fraud in the UK increased by 41%, reaching a high. But as you say, it doesn't kind of stand up if you can still go and, as you say, make maybe a crazy bet on the football or just go and bet on the horses or something like that. And okay, maybe it's not fraud and it is regulated, but at the same time, it does seem like it's too far. I'm wondering if it's also a narrative of kind of like banking lobbying, like the banks just trying to push back on blockchain technology and push it away as long as they can.
You're onto something, man.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it is a peer-to-peer technology, which means that you can take out the intermediary, which in this case could be a bank. But then something that I think, Jonathan, you and I, and maybe Stefan, is that many people actually would love to have a regulated intermediary to assist them with their crypto dealings, actually, because if you've got a regulated exchange, then they should have KYC'd the projects or the tokens or whatever it is that's on there. So therefore, you don't have to do your own research yourself because it's regulated, and then you feel okay, I can use that because it adds a level of protection for me. Jonathan, what are your thoughts on that?
So, I agree. I mean, I look at it this way: we could all go to a peer-to-peer system today. We could all go back to going gold bars under our beds and going down markets in the morning and haggling for everything we need. But we don't choose to. We choose to shop at John Lewis with a credit card and buy our food from Ocado and have it delivered to our front doors. I mean, just because the payment method changes doesn't mean that everybody is going to want to be to be a self-custody, is going to want self-custody. So everyone's going to want to look after their own money. I don't believe that's going to be the case in the same way as we don't now. I mean, most people now, literally, if you stop people in 2023 in the street and did a survey of how much cash they've got on them, I imagine most people would have less than £10 on them. Yeah. Because we all keep it in banks, and I don't understand why we wouldn't want to use a banking system of some shape or form in the crypto world, because most people would be scared. The whole thought of you having 12 or 18 or 24 keywords that if you lose mean that you can no longer access any of your funds, will scare the living bejesus out of most people, and as quite rightly it should in a lot of cases. They want somebody else to look after it for them. It's the whole reason why the Coinbase wallet, the wallet's self-custody, it backs up your seed phrase to your Apple iCloud. And while I don't personally use it, I can see why it's a popular solution for those that are new to crypto. You don't have to think about it the same way if it goes wrong.
I mean, it's like the Ledger hardware wallet. I mean, that big uproar about having a recovery system. And okay, I understand that maybe some people thought that they were totally in control of the key, and it turned out it weren't. But I don't want to get into that discussion. But I can see why the team at Ledger thought that, and why it makes sense, because the next wave of adoption and the next wave of people coming in, they're going to value that more than, say, self-custody and having that bit of paper in a book and distributed around the world and in a safe and on all these different things we all hear about to keep your seed phrases safe. People will pay to have that a backup service. So I can understand why it's done, because I think that is actually what is going to bring more users in, and it's as you say, I think that the banks can possibly do a similar thing. And look, for those of us that don't want that, fine, but then at least it's the choice.
Yeah, I think in the end it comes all down to convenience, and I think I said one of the biggest financial institutions in Germany, one of the CEOs, Stefan Hopes, same first name as me, same age as me, otherwise no connection, but he's now the CEO of DWS and former, he was on the board of Deutsche Bank. And he said, hey, in the end, people will aim for convenience, and his mother won't, or is not, I'm not saying not capable, but she doesn't want to remember seed phrases and taking the risk of losing it. So it's in the end, it's just people always do a trade-off. Either I'm fully pro seed phrase and whatever, or I'm fully into convenience, and then there's always bridge solutions. I mean, agree or disagree. So
well, that's it. I mean, look, and we should probably move on to another subject, but sorry, Stefan, I cut you.
No, it's all good, man. For me, it's people can agree or disagree with what I said. I mean, so can do you. I mean, obviously we have Jonathan who's in it pretty much from the beginning, and then we have I guess also a lot of listeners like late adopters. So it's always a matter of how good you feel with new tech. How close are you to the tech, and have you seen how it developed, and do you also envision which direction it could develop? So
well, that's a good point. It's the user experience, isn't it? And that brings us to something else, where I know I've been pretty vocal and made various videos and posts about this, but when people use technology, they don't necessarily use the technology. They're just looking for a solution to something, and they don't really necessarily care about how that works. Probably on the masses, and it's probably the minorities that actually geek out, probably like me and a few others here. They go, "Oh, I like that," but generally speaking, I've said this a million times. Who talks about the tech behind their phone? Nobody. Maybe I do, but most people don't. They want it to work, the apps to work, and they want to take great photos, etc. Cars, you could go on about all sorts of technology. Nobody really cares about the blockchain, and I don't think that many people are that worried that at this stage about decentralization. But they do maybe want to get into crypto. Stefan, you had some views on this, didn't you? About sort of UX, UI, UX is king, and providing a solution is the king here, and we need to sort of think less about pushing technology for technology's sake.
Yeah, so my opinion is I had an interesting conversations where we see also like bridging technologies or how people are framing it. I had a conversation with my friend like 25 years back at Tenety Legends Night. So I'm currently sitting at an incubator here, and he brought up like he came from a digital whatever conference in Iceland, and he said like, hey, I came across a great solution. He said, hey, I can directly transfer money or whatever from my wallet to my bank account to my IBAN and the other way around. So technically, the underlying technology is a stable coin, but for him, he didn't care actually. Yeah. So for him, it was like, I need to transfer things in and out from wallet to my bank account directly. And he said like, okay, man, that's a feasible solution. I don't have any costs involved. And then if you're saying, hey, but a stable coin, I mean, they're making money. Not interested. For him, it was like this solution at this moment was solving his problem. And gave his clients access to his marketplace, because he's a FitMe. I'm just doing a quick advertise for them. Carl Level FitMe marketplace for in-game trading goods. So I mean, the people that are dealing with him already pretty close to the topic. But it's like for me, it was like most inspiring. He didn't even know the name or knew the name. I knew the name of the coin, but he even didn't know. He said like, hey, that's a great solution. That's exactly what I need, and it works instant. So I say, fuck man, that's solving a problem, and that's also bridging like Web 2, Web 3. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, UX works, then no one is questioning the technique.
Yeah,
yeah, I completely agree. I think this has been the biggest challenge, is that how do you bring people from Web 2 into Web 3?
Yeah,
I mean, for me, we've seen this a lot inside many of the NFT communities that I follow.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite ones of where you see this the most is that you've seen the two ways that people have done it. They keep dropping new NFTs and hoping that they bring in new people, but they don't seem to. They just basically recycle the same liquidity and the prices fall. And then you have the pudgy penguins who have gone out and put toys in stores on such an alarming. I mean, honestly, I don't even know how he did it. If you think about it, Luca, for those that don't know the story of Pudgy Penguins, Luca Nets took over Pudgy Penguins about a year ago from being a sort of failed project or a failing project. That's the guy there. He's a really lovely man. I spent time with him in Singapore. Genuinely lovely human being. And then he's now managed to get them into multiple retailers around the world, including BHG in Singapore, Smith's Toys, they're going into the UK, and of course Walmart in the US, and 2,000 stores. And he's done all of this in under 12 months.
Yeah.
And I think for me, what's really clever about all of this is the fact that you buy a toy for like $3, a little plastic igloo that's a bit like a Kinder Egg, and your kids open it, and inside they get a little plastic figure of a penguin, and underneath they get a QR code that gives them effectively a penguin NFT to play in the game online. And they're bridging and bringing people online into the Web3 and growing their ecosystem.
Yeah, and there's some of the traits there. You see some things you can unlock once you open up and scan your physical pudgy penguin.
Yeah.
But I think that's a genius move, actually. I think that's a genius move, how to bring people into new technology. So I think that's...
Oh, absolutely. I think they pulled it off. And I'm going to say this. I actually think in the last 12 months, he's done more for Web3 than most projects have done since their inception. And I would argue that now this is starting to be shown. And actually, I really do actually believe that come the next bull run, they'll be rewarded.
Yeah.
Their holders will be rewarded. And the fact that, your toy, your pudgy penguin may be picked to be a toy.
Let me quickly interrupt. Do we have a disclaimer? Because of course, NFA,
yes, we do.
DYOR, and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, of course, absolutely. This is not financial advice. Absolutely. Don't. We're just rambling people on the internet. Please don't take this as financial advice. we're just rambling idiots that like pictures of penguins. That's penguins.
It. Exactly.
Take it at that level.
Although I'm getting FOMO now, and I haven't got one. But let's have a look here. Shop. Oh no, I've got to share. Oh, it's opened up a different page. Hold on. Yeah.
Make sure that you're on the right pages. So Not
yeah,
like something
I've got to do it differently, and
weird is popping up.
But again, though, what I love about it is they have deviated from this constantly. Well, we're just going to sell you hats and hoodies. Don't get me wrong, they do still sell hats and hoodies, but
here we go. Look,
I mean, there's only so many hoodies that we all need. I think we would all agree with that. But every crypto project loves to give you a hoodie.
Yeah, I mean, Stefan I mean, yeah. My nickname is Crypto Shorts, but I also like the nickname is King of Swag.
Nice.
And my kids love it. My kids love it. So my kids are running around in Coinbase, Binance hoodies and whatnot. So we have like a full suit of hoodies from
I've still got my FTX cap from Crypto Bahamas, which I feel is going to be one that's going to be one of the ones I should just wear ironically at the next conference.
No.
Just start rocking FTX merch.
Oh, that's a cool one, huh? Didn't get my hand on that.
Talking of FTX, Stefan, you've been following the lovable other Pudgy. Actually, he's not Pudgy. He's quite a thin guy in the States.
So I mean, again, like FTX, I have the feeling like I'm really looking if Netflix is bringing it out, or maybe it's end up on Amazon. Who knows? Prime. That's going to be a fantastic stories for the ages, and it's a good learning kind of thing, I guess, like in terms of trust. Gary Gensler, that's fantastic, man. Gary, let's call it Gary against the Congress. So
we follow that, and then after a number of
yeah. I mean,
no.
No, so I mean, currently it looks like Gary, beside the public pressure he's getting from multiple sources, now he's also getting like pressure from the Congress to move his tiny ass forward and make and take decisions on if yes or no. And I mean, I don't see any other ways than he will give up, leaving the field, and we're doing some serious business in the US. So that's what I'm seeing. Again, like a lot of speculation here, but Gary is lost. That's my take. That's my take on Gary versus Congress. So I mean, he's getting so much pushback even from the Congress, and it's not Brian Armstrong who's fighting against him. Is like he has the whole Congress against him. So doomed.
Is this another time where, and I've seen this a lot with, especially because when I was out in New York for NFT NYC, I watched a bit of C-SPAN. And they had a whole thing on about Bitcoin at the time, and I found it fascinating. The levels of misunderstanding and lack of information that the people making decisions actually had was phenomenal. I mean, it was truly mind-blowing. Like, for example, every single Bitcoin transaction is worse for the environment than every single iPhone that Apple make. And it's like, well, that's sort of true, but not true. And it's sort of like, it really depends on where the energy came from that went into production of the block. And you can't actually say where that energy came from because you don't really know. And this whole idea that they're now looking to regulate against issuing licenses for Bitcoin mining because they're worried about the opportunity cost of green energy and how that's going to work. And it was all very clear that they didn't really understand the technology they were trying to regulate in any shape or form. And I just feel Gary Gensler is just the next iteration of the same thing. He's just like, I don't really understand this in any shape or form. And the SEC's got some major issues at the moment anyway. I mean, they've just had an internal investigation and found that they're losing too much staffing time to staff either watching porn internally or having to deal with the staff that are watching porn internally, and they've lost time investigating fraud. And it's like, brilliant. This is all just getting to the stage of where, when these stories are starting to come into the news that your time is up. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like, these stories never appear when everyone's happy with you. It's just when they want you out. It's like all these weird and wonderful, quirky stories of should really finish with the line, so what? All seem to magically appear in the news.
Yeah, I guess he hasn't found the perfect way for him to quit his position without making it look like he's quitting. So, but yeah, I think we get there. We get there. So I'm super confident. Then moving. I mean, getting there in terms of I don't see any way how Gary survives this. I don't see. Yeah. But yeah.
No, I totally agree. I don't see how. And I think if you can't quit, if you can't be seen to not be quitting, then you've just got to go out in drag, singing with sparkles. Just go into Congress in drag, singing with sparkles, and just go, "I'm quitting, darlings," and walking out. I mean, it would be the best piece of television that we'd all seen in a very long time.
Yeah. I was like, have it underneath the shirt, right? So you're like this shot here is on YouTube Live, right? So just go, okay, rip off the shirt and just have it all, as you say, all your sequins underneath.
Actually, yeah. Actually, sorry that I'm again like playing a bit like devil's advocate, but that's something I don't want to see. I hope that never goes public.
It's a good point. Yeah.
No, but yeah, I guess it's interesting. Sorry, I guess that's one of the more negative ones currently going on, but with a positive outlook, my opinion. And let's see. I mean, the fun thing is like it's a never-ending story. We talked about Gary more or less, or we touched it last week or 2 weeks ago, and probably we'll talk about him next week again. Like, it's let's see. I mean, the day we're not talking about Gary anymore, like I guess.
There'll be something else or somebody else.
Yeah.
What else, so, Stefan? And what's anything else been
for
around
me? I mean,
for you this week?
Yeah. Some interesting things that I want to touch. I mean, we touched on the UK, or we touched on the UK, and specifically on the UK. I don't know where it is. Somewhere there. It says 15 somewhere there. So 15, and the 5 should be an Apple. So I mean, everyone knows like Apple is intertwining their systems with the financial world. They're doing things with JP Morgan already, but in the UK they now got what do you call, like went into open banking, or there's a collaboration. So more banking services to be expected there. So I think that's an interesting one to follow. And then we come about things that we touched earlier, UX. People are familiar. People want to stay in there or within their ecosystem, like traditional, like more people that come from TradFi world. So I think that's super interesting to follow up on that one. That's what I think it's like. For me, my personal opinion, it's good development, and we also see like technology is merging in multiple ways. And who would have imagined that a phone, a camera, a music player, and your full bank account and whatnot is now combined in this tiny piece that you're wearing in your pocket every day. So interesting thing to follow, my opinion.
Oh, I agree. And from Apple's point of view, the smartphone market has reached saturation. They've got shareholders to appease. How else do you start to appease shareholders other than by going into banking?
Yeah, make money. Show me the money.
And there's some more stuff here. There's some more stuff on the screen here about what can they do with Web3 gaming. And although, Stefan, I think you mentioned this to me about this Minecraft has banned Bitcoin. So my understanding is, but I guess Jonathan has a take on that as well. So my understanding is you could play like mini games in Minecraft, and with that, technically, it's fun also mining in Minecraft, earning Bitcoins, and of course, like Microsoft somewhat disliked it. My opinion again is like because they didn't get a share out of it, so technically they banned it. So. Like ring fencing their ecosystem. If you share, then I guess you're welcome. If you don't share, then get out of here.
I think if they'd set up a smart contract that, say, for example, 70% of it had gone to Microsoft in the same way as they do with their in-game payments. I suspect you'd have magically found that they wouldn't have minded Bitcoin in there whatsoever.
Yeah. So. I guess that's the thing. So I think that's super interesting. Is like on one hand, people are more keen to see what new technology can do. On the other hand, like they're trying to protect their own turf. So it's like a good mix. I think it's super interesting times. A lot of things going on in the space. People are building fancy, sometimes even useful stuff, and I'm super keen to see where we're heading. So,
how about you, Jonathan? Is there anything that's standing out in the last, right now that you think? I mean, real world assets, I guess, is buzzing like left, right, centre. RWA, real world assets. It's the next thing. I think it certainly is trending.
It's definitely trending.
What's your thought?
I mean, for me, I think there are sort of key areas that we look at. I mean, we really like loyalty programs because we know that we're going into tough times, and therefore people are going to want to start to get rewards, and we're seeing those becoming more and more popular amongst the conversations that we're having. And especially with our L1s, they're definitely the way they want to go because they need to find a way of effectively onboarding new users. And for them, they found that the whole loyalty program has been really important. But yeah, real world assets is definitely something people are looking at. But the question of it is always going to be the same. And this is going to be the challenge, especially in the UK, is that with the complications of playing with the banks, then effectively, are we going to go back to, one of the projects that we've looked at and we've recently just funded or working with is a crypto pawn shop, as in PAWN.
That's
just
good.
to clarify.
I was going to say that Stefan would be interested. Oh no, it's something else.
You're so funny, my friend.
I know. I try.
No, but actually, no. But Jonathan, before you go on, I just have I don't know if you have looked in the loyalty program. I call loyalty add-on for miles and more, where Lufthansa now came up with their. I think we touched it like 2-3 weeks ago, or I don't know when it came out with it. So actually, I want to hear your take if you have looked into it, or if you have an opinion on that one. For me, I coined it back then. I said, okay, basically, you have miles and more, you have a loyalty program, and now they're setting up an additional layer on the miles and more program as NFTs. Where I'm saying, okay, as of now, I don't see the benefit. But maybe you have a different take on this as you're way deeper into NFT.
So my challenge with this one is that if you're going to gift me an NFT and airdrop me an NFT into my wallet when I get to X number of points, that's lovely. But what am I going to do with this? How does this make my life better? And unless there's something that I can physically redeem it for, then it's utterly pointless. And this has always been the challenge, is that what we've seen from the loyalty programs that we've talked and while we've gone around this conversation, free NFTs, whilst, great, lovely piece of art, very nice, get a nice artist to design it, great. But if you say to someone, or you could have £5, and you could then go and use that £5 in Tesco's, everybody wants the £5.
For those not in London or UK that know Tesco's, that's your supermarket.
It's a supermarket chain, yeah. So if you're in France, it's like Carrefour, Germany, Lidl, that kind of thing.
Migros here in Switzerland.
In Switzerland,
Exactly.
It's your regular large supermarket chain. That's what Jonathan's talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the challenge that we found. So when we've had these conversations and we've been speaking to people about them, and we go out and they go, yeah, I'm not really. They don't really get what they would use the NFT for. Yeah. All they really want to get is discounts. And the only thing they liked about Miles and More and the Avios scheme is the fact that actually, when you get to X number of points, they knock £5 off your flight.
But you now need to pay like a lot of money just to put a suitcase on. So thank you for that.
Well, yes, exactly. But that's a story for another day. My views on British Airways these days, as they lovingly BA has now become bloody awful.
Tell us about your U-Porn you're investing in. Sorry, this pawn shop. What is it?
So
PAWN, porn as in
PAWN. Just to clarify, absolutely. So one of the biggest challenges we found when we were talking to people is that if you woke up this morning as a reasonably wealthy individual and you went, I'd quite like to buy one of those monkey JPEGs, and you needed to put 25 Ethereum into the system. Effectively, you need to get 25 Ethereum into the network to be able to do it. Right. Could you actually do it?
In the UK, you mean? So you mean actually take your pounds and buy Ethereum and then so you can then obviously go into the crypto system and get,
Yeah.
as you say, money. I think it's got harder. You could tell me you're still there. I've been out for a while, but I do remember when I first moved over here, or when I was doing some crypto investing. It was getting more and more challenging just even a few years ago. So it must be a nightmare now.
To be brutally honest, anything over £5,000 is near enough impossible.
Okay.
So we were talking to some people the other day about this. Well, I'd say the other day. It's many weeks ago now. But the general gist of what we came to was the fact, well, actually, providing you don't actually do any exchanging or changing of assets, you don't fall foul of the e-money rules or the crypto asset rules. So if you just take in, for example, somebody's Rolex, and I use Rolex as an example because it's crypto and they're synonymous with...
There's a lot of used Rolexes around.
Show us your wrist.
Rolex.
Show us your wrist, Jonathan. Show us your wrist.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm a very English person. I've gone with Bremonts because they're a beautiful British engineering story, and my watch supports is with the Williams Formula One team. So it's not all bad over here.
But yeah, so you take your watch.
So you take your watch, you put your Rolex in, your whatever it is you want to put in, and then you would literally borrow. We would effectively loan you crypto as effectively as a pawnbroker.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you actually obviously have to pay back. You pay back your loan, and whether you pay it back in fiat or you pay it back in crypto is up to you. But the key point is there at no point has there been an exchange between fiat and crypto, because effectively we have loaned you money against an asset. So you've leveraged an asset.
Yes.
And you have chosen to be paid out in crypto, but there has never been an exchange, and that's the key piece. Stay the right side of the legislation, which is where this works, because the reality of it is it's actually so difficult to get money into the system.
Yes.
And it's very difficult to get money out of the system as well. I mean, I've had that problem before, as I mentioned earlier. But for us, this was something that was a really interesting piece, and from our side is that what started as a small, very silly niche idea, basically just because, I mean, who could have possibly predicted that if you lent money against pictures, JPEGs on the internet, that it could possibly go wrong if you put up images as collateral, which was the delights of the Blur loan saga. Who would have possibly predicted that this could have at all go wrong in any financial history in any system and ever? Then you may have yourself in a liquidity crisis and you need to get some money into the system. And I've got friends who have actually lost JPEGs in that period. So this is how this came out. It's like, well, actually, this would have exactly solved the need that you needed to solve. It effectively allows you to do that stuff, and doesn't mean that you're not gonna be checked. You're not gonna have to do all the normal things you do for going to borrowing or loaning for a pawnbroker. You're still gonna have to tip up some ID. You're still gonna have to tip up the goods. The goods are still gonna have to be checked to make sure they're genuine and not fake. All of the normal pawnbroking rules apply.
Yes.
But the only difference is the payout is actually in crypto.
Got it. Is that what you call it, Stefan? Is that what's that in German? What's that called? Do you have that in Germany? This pawn shop thing where you could take something along and get money for it, and they lend you the money and you go back. Hopefully, you go back. If you don't go back, they sell it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you have like to pay high interest on it. What is it called? Damn. Yeah, but we have it.
That's
we have it in Germany.
I don't know. It's too stupid.
Don't do pawn. Don't stop making this pawn jokes, man. They go nowhere. No. But yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. I've never seen it in Switzerland actually.
No. I mean, I've never tried to look for it either, for that matter. But I haven't necessarily just seen it. Well, it sounds pretty interesting, Jonathan.
I mean, yeah, it's polled well. It's got they're starting out well. They're starting to get some interest. It's a really interesting project the way they've gone with it, and I have to say that the team's pulling it together nicely.
Very cool. Well, look, we've again, when we have great conversations, we overrun without realising. So this is great, and
was our 15 minutes. Was our 15-minute slot? I think we're pretty good actually.
I think we're well over 50. I'm trying to look at the timer; it's behind the screen. 40 minutes. 40. Okay.
15 minutes, give or take. So
give or take, yeah. Are you going to, Stefan? Are you going to be going to Zug next week for CV Summit?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
so if you want to have my whole schedule, so it's probably CV Summit.
I don't actually. No,
I'm telling you anyway.
We don't care. Actually, I've been polite.
I know you don't care, but you still have to deal with it. That I will be
tell
there.
us where you're going to be, what you're going to do.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but I definitely will be
at the CV
Summit meeting with like-minded people. So I guess it's going to be interesting event as usual. Seeing you in person again.
I'll be there.
It's always fun. Let's see if I'm coming with my Marvel swag again or not. I have a new one actually. So surprise on that. Then it's like we have Token Summit in Liechtenstein, Crypto as a conference. Key Rock is hosting something in Brussels, and then it's EBC end of month and something.
Are you going to go to? Are you going to Barcelona for that?
Planning.
Maybe. Yeah. I've got an opportunity.
95% maybe.
Yeah. Yes. That's we're aligned. It's just when do you stop? Basically, it's just like. Got to get your head down at some point. So yeah, CV Summit for me. For those of you who want to go, again, we stipulate this. We don't make any money on referrals. There is a 15% discount in the comments if you want to go to CV Summit. Again, say that's just we're going to be there, and we like to share the things we're going to because we don't like going to crap things. We go to good things. So let's share and hopefully bring some value to reductions there. What about you, Jonathan? I mean, you say you just said at the beginning you've got. I think you came back from Token 2049.
Singapore. I'm going out to an event with Pudgy Penguins this week. I'm literally flying at 7
I know what you're doing.
Morning.
I know what you're doing. I really wanted to go to this, but I couldn't.
I
couldn't swing it domestically at home.
have sponsored a tent at Oktoberfest. So I mean, it should be a good couple of days.
Yeah. It's going to be like apparently I had a good time.
Yeah, exactly. According to the missus, it'll be okay. It's always okay, isn't it? Otherwise, you can't go again.
Yeah. How was it? It was all right. It was okay. It was all
right. Exactly.
It was
it's much the same sort of people again. And then of course it's Ape Fest at the Cardano Summit, and then Ape.
Yes, in Dubai.
Yes, and then Hong Kong.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Actually,
Breakpoint. We also have Breakpoint.
Solana.
Yeah, just forget that one. If he's bringing up Cardano, say hi to Frederick. So CEO Cardano Foundation. Say hi again. So. And
of course, there's always Zebu Live in October in the UK. Was it the 5th or the 7th? I believe.
That's next week. Yeah. So you could actually go Zug 3-4, fly back
into London,
and then do. Zebu, or I call it Zebu, but it's probably Zebu, isn't it?
It probably is Zebu. I think it's Zebu. I mean, Harry's really, really, really lovely, and he's a really good guy as well. So if you are in town, try and support him.
He's such a lovely guy. He's going to give all our listeners and viewers a nice discount too, aren't you, Harry? he's a drop it in the comments when we share this podcast with him.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, this is look, something else. I wore a T-shirt last week. Again, I just really love the artwork of these people. It's a polka dot NFT marketplace. Here's an example. And actually, I didn't wear it for today, but I for this show. But and they're really cool bunch of people, really cool team, and they've got some really great artists publishing on their marketplace. But they also have really great art, and they really take pride in their merch. This is for you, Stefan. There's actually a code in the comments there as well for €50, because some stuff is actually not even €50, and then some of the limited stuff can go up to 100. So you could, but anyway, that's down, and that expires the end of this month. So that's 2 days time or something, 30th. Yeah, so there's also a comment now, and again, we really are not getting anything for doing this. we're not getting. It's just stuff we like and like to share.
We're doing it just out of pure love to our community. So
To expand the Web3 universe. Jonathan, parting comments before we let you get back and move on in your car from your car parking.
Absolutely. I think thank you for having us, and it's been good fun. And I do think it's during these periods of time during the bear market where you actually meet the people that are actually going to be around for the longer term. And I think if people are still in this market, if people are in this market now, they're probably in for the right reasons.
I think so. Totally aligned with that, Jonathan. Totally aligned. So, Stefan, it's been
nothing
nice
to add.
It was fun while it lasted, Stefan. Bye-bye. So come back. We know you're going to be here soon. Soon? Be here for a while.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you won't get rid of me. So sorry with that. But hey, you have to deal with it.
Well, thanks, Jonathan.
Cool.
I'll see you soon. Also, hopefully, I know you pop over to Geneva area, so maybe see you at a Crypto Monday in Geneva.
Yes.
In soon, and so I get to see you, and we can have a little post-Oktoberfest drink with you. It'd be for you, won't it? And Stefan, I'll see you. We'll see each other next Tuesday in Zug.
Absolutely.
Thanks everyone for watching.
Take care.
Or replaying, and we hope to see you around. If you've got any questions for any of us, you can put them in the comments. You can tag us, and we can get back to you later.
And tell us how much you disliked it. If you think the show is shit, please leave also
like little poo emojis and all that kind of.
Yeah. And if we get to 500 poop emojis, then there's
we called it off. We shut it down. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Take care. Bye bye.